So, Dave, we've been talking about immigration at this table for months, it seems.
Right.
And as we talk, the House and the Senate seem to get farther and farther apart on something that they have to come together on. This week it seemed to get ridiculous. The House seems so unhappy with the big comprehensive immigration bill the Senate passed that not only will it not take it up, it doesn't even want to pass a big bill that will force them to go into conference to compromise with the Senate.
Right. Well, as the Washington Post put it, immigration got stopped at the House and Senate border. and as you pointed out in your piece today, the reason the House opponents of immigration reform are using this tactic is they know that once the bill gets to conference, they've lost control and we'll get some kind of middle-of-the-road thing. And it seems to me, correct me if I'm wrong, that the thing that they're least likely to get out of the House is a bill that's a pathway to citizenship.
Yeah, that's the last thing on their list. That they're happy to vote for more border security. They're happy to vote for more H-1B
farm workers too,
and maybe even some path to citizenship for the dreamers, these young immigrants, the children of illegal immigrants who came here or here almost by accident, not because of their own decisions. But that's about as far as it goes. And if you think about the Senate bill, where the path to citizenship is kind of central to it, and a House where nobody really wants to talk about a path to citizenship, that's a pretty big bridge to
what leverage does the business community or the president have to get the House to be more cooperative?
You know, the business community probably is the one force that could still compel something in the House, because they do have a constituency among House Republicans, and they probably have to get more vocal about it. Most people in the business community, whether they do or they don't like a path to citizenship, they want immigration reform because they want highly skilled workers, and they also want, and this has gotten less attention, a lot of temporary guest workers for the agriculture industry, for the dairy industry, for tourism, for the fishing industry in Alaska. There are all kinds of industries that want this bill for reasons other than the big sort of headline-grabbing provisions, but they haven't been very vocal. They may have to be. I think, though, in the House Republican caucus, there's not much of a desire to hear what other people think in some cases. They listen to their constituents.
Polite.
Well, they listen to their constituents, and they come from really red districts, and their view is, and this is understandable, I didn't come to do what the Chamber of Commerce wants, and I certainly didn't come to do what Barack Obama wants. I came to do what people in my district want.
But I mean, the Republicans had such a problem with minority voters, especially Hispanic voters, in the last election. They can't go into 2016 without some kind of immigration reform, can they?
That's what people at the Republican National Committee may say, but that's not what House members think. They're the next election they're thinking about is next year in their district, which
tend to be less minority.
Yeah.
Less minority, and where the more likely problem is that you're going to be challenged from the right if you vote for an immigration bill that has a path to citizenship. That's their political problem. It's not 2016, it's 2014, and that's what they. I just think there's a difference between people who think, well, of course you have to compromise, and people in the House caucus now who say that's what's been happening in this town for 50 years, and all it's done is it's gotten us into a lot of trouble and built up the debt, and we're not here to do that anymore. And that's a big change, and I think immigration is really a great illustration of it.
Do they break it up at all? Do they do H-1B visas separately?
They will. They will do that. They'll do H-1B visas and border security thing. And then Democrats will say, well, we're not buying that because we're not going to get the thing that we want, which is a comprehensive reform that deals with the illegal immigrants here. So the piecemeal approach is where I think it still all falls apart.